Hello, everybody. Well. Oh, my hair's a mess. Sorry, y'all. I have a weird sleep schedule where sometimes I don't. But this morning apparently was not one of them times because I did a lot. But nevertheless, I'm out here and I'm way behind on what I had to have done or needed to have done or wanted to have done or whatever you call it. So, I'm out here. I had to do a little repairing there because I was grinding and I found the outside of the cylinder and I wasn't looking for that, but I did find it, and it's on the other side of this side. But I fixed it, and this is mine, so it's good enough for me. It's good enough for me. Just to give y'all a little. Oh, you can't hardly tell. That's enough of that. I don't want y'all to see all of it until it's ready. Lid on it. Got two little screws here. We're going to do something else I'm going to show y'all. I seen somebody else talking about it. I don't even remember. Was it maybe it might have been Tin Man talking about it. Talking about building carburetors out of different carburetors. I wanted to show y'all what I got going on. And I think it's Tin Man's video last night I was watching. He's talking about using pieces of different carburetors to make one for that CS590. I think that's what it was. This is some of the, if y'all look on this table, I too keep carburetors from everything. There you go. Now you got a better view of what's actually going on. That's a block. It's shaped like this, so it's beveled on this side. It's got a slot in it. It's straight, angled. Got a slot here, so if you got a carburetor and you see it's sitting like that, if you want it to go that way, or you got this hanging off the end, you can turn it like this so you can hit it, or like that if you need to tap on it and you don't want that. Or you can turn it over like this if you're trying to do it with a flap sticking down. You just got to be mindful of what you're doing. I mean, it ain't always perfect, and I have turned it up that way and hit something on it, but you kind of just gotta, but I actually need to grind that chunk right there down. I don't know why I ain't done it yet. Probably because I'm lazy sometimes. Oh, I meant to go to the other store and get some bolts. Whoops, forgot to do that. But anyway, y'all have not seen this, I don't think. Just a couple pictures. I'm trying to decide what I'm going to do on the wild thing. I have an EL32 carburetor on it, and I have found an EL42, but I don't have one of them here to measure and see if there's a difference. I don't know whether there is or not. Sometimes there is, sometimes there ain't. This is part of the intake. Yes, I put helicoils in here, and thread it. Y'all hold on a second. I got a phone call coming. Sorry, y'all. I had to take a phone call. But what I was going to show y'all is the stock intake has studs sticking up out of it, which I thought I had them studs on the table. But anyway, the studs didn't work well with my velocity stack. Now, for some reason, I can't seem to locate my screws. Oh, there's a stud. These are the studs that are originally, they come up from the back side. See how they fit in that hole right there? They would actually be sticking up like this, but they would be sticking out of this side. Something like that. Well, things get in the way, and what I've done here is I put helicoils down. The holes were the right size for a helicoil, so I helicoiled the intake so I can do that. Now this is the intake for the Wild Thing. And if I can find the right, I got so much stuff sitting everywhere. That is not the right one. You need to get out of the way. That is not the one. That is not the one. Where did I put it at? Yeah, I promise I got it sitting here somewhere. There it is. You still got that piece on there. I would show you the carburetor that's on the Wild Thing, but it's on the Wild Thing, so I'm gonna take that plastic piece off there. We'll see if this doesn't clear right away like this pipe for the pulse. I might have to heat the carburetor up a little bit to get it to move. Sometimes they'll move, sometimes they won't. And that one is not going to. I might have to actually heat the carb up or do some cutting. But what I want to show y'all, if I can get this to cooperate, take them plastic hickeys out of there. And trying to fix a small velocity stack with nuts. See, there's not quite enough room to cut out to put a socket in there and have the velocity stack this small. But there is enough to do it that way. And then it won't quite, that pipe is in the way and the throttle linkage is in the way a little bit right now. Right now it is anyhow. We're going to bend that just a little bit. If we break it off, we'll drill it out. Come on now. Alright, now there's the HD, that's the HD carb for the 372 bolted on a Poland Wild Thing intake. So we'll snug it down just a little bit. Everything don't clear right now. Everything does not clear, so we're just gonna snug it up just to show you. The throttle flap will actually open and close because I've already bored the carburetor. And if you bend this in just a hair right here, see, now it'll close almost all the way. It's still hitting just a little bit, but what I'm actually planning on doing is cutting some of this off. And here is the actual Wild Thing carburetor. And the throttle flap and everything just happens to be in about the same place. So I'm going to actually take this, I'm going to cut it off and I'm going to weld it onto here. So the actual factory throttle linkage might fit on it. But I know y'all see my wild hair. I think this is what I'm going to do. I haven't fully committed to it yet, but I'm getting there. I may stick the carburetor that's on there and see how it performs with that carburetor. But yeah, This is the route I'm going to go if that's not enough carburetor. But I figured y'all would want to see that. Trying to think what else I might. I also have this one, an HDA 175. It fits on there like the other carb, but the throttle flap is down here instead of up here, and on the original carb it's at the top. See, up top, down at the bottom. I had to make the other one work. The one's on it now, I actually welded a piece of metal. I cut a piece of metal and welded it on right here where it's sticking down. And I just kept drilling holes until I got it where the throttle linkage would work. And it does work. It works pretty good. The choke's a little bit of a bear. It don't work that good, but oh, I think that one right there is going to be the ticket. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking. All right, let me move some stuff around. All right, y'all. Sorry, I got things happen here and there I have to go take care of sometimes. Right now, I need to put. Let me put this stop back on here. I was degreeing on the wild thing last night, but I had a little issue. I showed you. I had to epoxy, so I took it in, and I need to finish that and do a little checking. Still yet, I'm not quite there yet, so we'll save that for another time. What I'm going to do, if you'll notice, it says wall door. You're not reading it wrong. It says wall door. I ordered this carburetor years ago for my 372, and it said it was a Walbro carburetor, but as you can tell, it was not. Well, it didn't run good for whatever reason. I don't even know. But what I'm going to do, since it doesn't work the best, is I'm planning on taking this, you know what, I might not be able to do that. What I was planning on doing was taking this throttle shaft and modifying it, and then putting it in a regular 372 carb. But they are made a little bit different, so I don't know if I can actually do that or not. That looks to be maybe a negative. Huh. Well, that's silly, to say the least. I've got another Walbro here that's missing the throttle shaft out of it. That's a good question as to whether it'll actually fit or not. I'm going to show you all this anywho. Maybe. If I can find enough stuff. Because I don't care about this carburetor at all. Because it does not perform. So it's going to go away. Part of it is anyway. Kind of give y'all an idea of what I do on some of this stuff. Because a lot of people just don't understand that you can modify this stuff, and we do a lot of that. I mean, you're limited to your skills and your tools and stuff like that, but a lot of times you're also limited by your imagination. So There's the throttle shaft out of it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take the idle screw out of this carburetor because I know it's in the way. This carburetor right here is in rough shape, so I don't know if it's going to be any good or not. But apparently I've robbed the throttle flap out of it, or I got it from somebody that robbed the throttle flap out of it. I don't even remember. It's been sitting in the cabinet for a long time. Shaft's even a larger diameter than what goes in there, so oh mercy. Okay. Alright, that didn't work. So let's go and try this. I've got so much stuff laid everywhere, I don't know where everything's at. But we're going to take, and sometimes when you take these screws out, y'all, be careful with them. Because if they're real tight, you need to work them back and forth until they come out. Don't just try to crank it out, you'll break it off. Then you need a throttle flap. And nobody likes needing a throttle flap. Or throttle rod, throttle shaft, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to take the stock one out, see if it'll fit in the 372 carburetor. If it will, I might just put it in there. If I can modify it enough to just stick it in there. It'll almost fit in there, but not quite. But you know what? It would work in. Nope, because the throttle shaft's too big. That thing would almost work on there. It just had a nub back there, but it don't. If a frog had wings, he wouldn't bump his butt when he hopped, right? Yeah, the reason I don't film a whole lot of this is for this exact reason here. It don't always go as planned, and it's not a deal breaker. By no means. It's just sometimes there's just hours and hours and hours of this stuff, and trying to pick out enough to make a few minutes of it is sometimes a real pain. This thing right here doesn't work worth a flip. That throttle shaft there. You know what? Y'all give me a minute. Alright. I'll go ahead and show y'all this. See where I ground the nub down? Grab a hold of this. Sometimes they're a little bit mean to get off. Sometimes they'll come right off. Sometimes you gotta punch them off. And of course, I don't have anything set up to punch it out. Why? Because I'm stupid sometimes. There's the other carburetor I was looking for. Boy, you saw a rascal. I moved stuff down there and now my bearing driver's gone. Yeah, we'll use this head. I'm not that worried about it. That's all I wanted right there. That's the piece I want. The rest of it I don't care about. That shaft was so tender it bent while I had it in my hand. These shafts are very tender, y'all. And be careful with them. Now, that thing is going to have to be like that. I'm not even 100% sure. Y'all, some of this stuff is trial and error. Some of it's more error than anything. I'm going to bend this back in just a little bit. Because I had it bent the other way where I drove it off, so. Alright. I don't know where we're going yet. Give me a minute and I'll work it out. Alright, y'all. After some deliberating, I have walked out there and I had another new carburetor. And I picked it up and it will spin around, so I turn the pulse tube around, that way it's pointing kind of towards the back of the saw. For those of y'all that's seen what I'm doing already, the pulse tube is right here, well, right here on the other saw, so I can just go right from there to there. But one thing that I did find out is I cut this off and I was working on trying to figure out where to put it on here. Let me turn y'all a little bit. I was trying to figure out where to put it on there, and there's some stuff in the way and things like that. Well, I got to playing around, and I found out if I just take the throttle linkage and put it up there and pull on it, the carburetor functions. So what I'm working out now is how to fill this hole in right here, so I can just drill a hole in this and put it in there. And probably what I'm going to do is probably just tack something on there. I may just do that. I could fill it in somehow or another. But if I cut that piece off, I could just tack it on there. And this piece would probably be in the way. I put it on the back side. Would it be in the way? Maybe, maybe not. You gotta check all this. That would be okay. It's real close to fitting the way it is. If it just didn't have that big old hole in it, we'd be doing right. But it does have that big old hole in it, so I'm trying to see if maybe I had another throttle shaft or something else that might switch over. This one right here would probably do it. This is a MS460 carburetor. Yeah, this ain't always easy, but sometimes it's worth it. Kind of sticks out a little farther yet. And it don't have the piece on the end for the choke. Alright. I know. Y'all don't get excited. I'm going to show you how I fixed it. I might not show you how I did it, but I'll show you how it looks after I'm done. Because filming it is going to be almost impossible. Because half the time I can't even see it. But give me a minute. Alright, y'all. I don't know if y'all can see this or not. I took and I cut that piece up that already had the right hole in it, and I just sanded it round on the sander until I could squeeze it in the hole with a pair of pliers. It's a good thing because the first time I've done it off-centered too. See, it's not in the center. And first time I put it in and I tried it, and it was a little bit snug, and I had it down here, so I turned it and put it as high as I could possibly get it. Now I'm probably going to carry it out there and just pop it right there with a welder and just tack it in the hole, and that way it should stay in there. And yeah, that's what we're going to do. Somewhere or another I'm going to pop it right there. It's probably going to look worse than who knows what, but I think for what we're doing, it'll be fine. Because all we're doing is building racing chainsaws. Yeah, now that's up a little bit farther. That might have been some of it right there. But I may have to tweak on this linkage a little bit. I don't know. I'm going to go tack this on there, and then I might mock up one right quick and see if I can show you what it looks like. Don't lose my throttle linkage because I'm going to need that one. Alright. I don't think there's any better way of attaching that than I can think of, other than just welding it. I know, it ain't no fun, but let me go do it. Alright. I know y'all are saying, well, you're just pulling that with your finger. Well, I'm going to stick it on the saw, but I wanted to show y'all that first. Because I've got to move all this stuff, and I got to mock up a saw body, because I don't think I've got one with a motor in it. So, y'all give me a minute, and I'll bring you back, and we'll see if it works. All right, y'all. Here we go. I have just bolted the cylinder down on here. There's a rod sticking up. This cylinder's got the top cut off of it. Here's the carburetor with the throttle linkage. I have not tried it on here yet, so if it works the first time, y'all have seen it. If it don't work the first time, y'all seen it. Because I have not tried it. It's just a simple. Got to find the hole. Put the bolt in. I had to find the bolts for the daggum intake too. And I got so much junk laying around here right now, it's hard to find anything. I don't know whether it's going to work or not, but I know the screws are in the right place compared to the other ones. Look at that. That is the stock throttle linkage without bending it or anything. Where's the choke linkage at? I don't think the stock choke is gonna fit, but I want to see how far off it was. If I might could do nope, too much of an angle. Yeah, that's too much. too much of an angle. That don't mean let me see something here. Huh. Give me a second. All right. I went over there. I cut all this off, heated it, bent it. I don't think it's going to work exactly the way I want it to, but I mean it. It's a lot of strain. I've got one here for a 372 also, and it's straight. Let's try it. I don't know whether the rubber will fit on it or not. It'll probably pass through it regardless. Yeah, it won't fit with the rubber. Yeah, it's a little bit tight. Yeah. See what it looks like with the hood on. Well, I mean it's at a little bit of an angle, but it's a choke nonetheless. Well, it at least will fit on there. This one will fit too, but it's a little bit thin. After I cut it down there, it's got a little stress to it. It's not the, it ain't the best plastic in the world. It's kind of flimsy to start with. But I mean, I'm not opposed to that. I mean, that keeps me from having to. That's what I'm the happiest with right there. Choke. Screws are right there. Let me see something. There ain't no way we'd get this lucky. Get out of there. There ain't no way. It almost worked. The doggone idle screw is right here instead of right there. Huh. Other than that sucker just about sit right on there. Oh, mercy, y'all. I've trimmed this hood because of racing application. I'm not cutting up my pretty green hood because I like it. But I cut this one and I'm not exactly happy where I cut it. I've got one more. And I've got a little surprise coming to go on the back of it, so probably about right there. Oh, mercy. All right, y'all. Yeah. I don't know exactly what we're going to title this video. Wild Thing Carburetor mod, something like that. It's 30 minutes long. The pulse tube will hook up right there. The throttle's hooked up. Choke works. The gas line will go right there. I might see if I can drill one of these carburetors to put the primer on it so it'll still have the primer bubble. Well, I probably won't film that. Of course, y'all might want to see it, but I don't know. All right, y'all. I'm going to stop this video off because it's already 30 minutes long. Y'all don't forget, got a link down in the description for merchandise if you're interested in that. We're probably going to have some Wild Thing merch coming eventually. Tomorrow's Saturday, I think. Yeah. Don't forget, we have a live at 5 on Saturday, every Saturday night. 5 to 7 usually, sometimes a little earlier, sometimes a little later. Just depends on how it goes. So, all right, y'all. I'm going to end this one here. Got some work to do. Y'all have a good day. Stay safe. Be kind. Treat each other the way you want to be treated. God bless. And Bellhopper out.